Check it out. Timing is everything. Because we've been wanting to get you on. But I think it's even better. It ended up being greater later. Look how much we done built since then. Look how much comfortable we done more.
I gotta tell you who the biggest businessman is in the industry right now. Exploding. I've been to every show. You know I drive everywhere.
Yeah. We know.
I gotta send a big shout out to the Barber Plug.
Hey.
That is the truest definition of entrepreneurship. To be able to take a brand, not being a barber, having an accountant background, understand the value behind this industry, and sit down and calculate out a formula that's now generating almost 9 to 10 figures annually. And he did it with his iPhone.
That's something.
That's black business, and he's doing business with everybody. And I gotta tell you, it's not because he's black or he understands. He understands people. He comes from a strong family that taught him to be polished and how to present food and how to invite guests and how to make the place feel warm and just create an electric atmosphere with just some of the simplest touches. And I saw him do something historical, and that was put over 2,000 people in a room that only fit 500 people.
Damn.
Wow.
Shout out to the Barber Plug.
First show, and he had 9 vendors. That's it. All the vendors ate.
And it was shortly developed. It wasn't bragged about for months in advance. It like came together in like two months.
Yo, listen, he's the next Jay Majors. I said it. Remember who said it first?
I believe it. I believe it.
And I'll tell you why.
I believe it.
Jay Majors has captured the audience by really taking it through the grassroots before social media. He's found a way to take those analytics and algorithms and get in front of anybody and anyone who will even mention or breathe the word barber. And that takes a level of intellect, that takes a level of patience and understanding to break ground in a whole nother vertical. It ain't like Jay Majors, who is a barber. We're talking about somebody who doesn't have a barbering background. And so for that, I wanted to tip my hat to him. I love the MLB show. I love Joe Flano and Nori. This is the best kept secret in barbering.
That's a dope way you labeled that, man.
This is the best kept secret because, like I said, there's some shows, unless you're willing to put up 10 bands, you ain't getting there. And 10 bands is a lot of money when you got 15 shows on your calendar.
Hell yeah.
And so sometimes financially, you don't see the head against the wall nights, just maintaining inventory and product SKUs and product development, and also taking on that extra 12 to 15% on the green arrow every month as we bring new consumers into the fold. We're the leading enhancement in 38 states and 9 countries around the world. This is information that's given to me every day that I just don't release because from a sense of humility, I don't want it to look like I'm bragging. I've done this grassroots. I wanted the people to brag about me. I wanted the shows to contact me. I even want the distributors to contact me because when you call me, whether it's for a haircut or color, I got you. The question now is, I want to cultivate the relationship. If I'm ready to just skin you once because you're flying in and flying out, I'll hit you for $150. But if I want to build a relationship with you, I'll introduce you at a respectable rate and slowly just let you watch my journey and let that be the reason you dig deeper because you respect the journey and the direction that I'm going in. And in the New York Minute, everything changes.
Yes.
Everything. God has a way of just changing it all. And the New York Minute is changing. And I don't even care about the money. I'm 20 years retired. You guys know that if you didn't. I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps chasing bad guys. I fought in 3 different wars. I received a Combat Action Medal. I was an adrenaline junkie, so I chased Ironman races all the way up to the full. 140.6. I tatted it on my calf muscle after I finished it in Mont Tremblant, Canada, and I felt like Forrest Gump. I understood why he stopped running. I never did another one after that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. We're going to do the intro to our show now, but Mario, whatever you do, take this intro and put it in the beginning of all that stuff that he just said, because we don't want to miss none of that.
None of that. I love it.
None of that.
This is what we love about Hev.
Oh, yes.
Since day one.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Tamel Pittman, proud owner of Uppercuts Barbershop.
What up, what up? This is Lonnie Horn, proud owner of World Class Faders Barbershop.
You are watching the For the Culture podcast with the United Barbers Club. We're out here in Chi-Town at the Midwest Trade Show. We got our man, Hevie Enhancements. He do his thing out there. He is a showman. I have people that walk up to me at the shows and be like, man, there's this guy over in this corner, right? This man is selling his ass. I thought I was a salesman.
The hustler.
I thought I was the man. This guy over there putting it down. And I already knew. I said, is it heavy? He said, yeah, it's heavy.
You know why I love you guys? Because you're like me. When it's real, there ain't no script.
Nope.
You understand?
Nope.
When it's real and it's cut from the same cloth, we're not scripting anything. Instead, we're sharing and building.
Boy, listen. Let us heavy.
Do your thing.
We always, ooh, man, this is so organic. We always remind people this is not an interview. This is our building block right here. This is our chance to build rapport, to build those relationships, man. So this is our chance to learn more about each other.
You guys are tribal leaders. You know, when I trace my roots all the way back to Africa and realized that the Taino Indian from Puerto Rico was comprised of a European, Spaniard, and black man, it made sense why my cousin spoke no English but had a wider nose than me and darker skin and had coarse hair that he allowed me to train on, to the point where I understood how to negotiate black hair by the age of 12. I was already running waves and hard parts and nasty Nas half moons and doing things that with a straight razor that most people just marveled at, and it was the long blade. You get 5 blades in a pack. Remember the old long one?
Yeah.
And so those were my first disposables, and I cut a lot of people, but I really understood that in the African American community, that's where the frequency is and the client. You know, people say, who's cheaper, black people or white people? And I say it's not about who's cheaper, it's frequency. When the black man has to sit down with his wife and calculate $50 a week into his monthly budget, he doesn't have time to call his barber and add an extra $10 just because he's a great guy. You don't call T-Mobile every month and just say, hey, by the way, here's an extra $10 cash out because you guys are keeping the cell phone towers whipped. No. The white guy who wakes up 8 months later and says, dude, I need a haircut, and pulls out that extra 20, he's already preordained you're getting the dub, because he knows he'd be crazy not to, bringing you 8 months worth of new growth. This is about frequency, and the frequency is in the black and brown community. I challenge anybody to challenge me on that. I got clients that on a 5-day, 7-day, and 10-day rotation, my clients see me 40 to 1, 50 to 1 on their doctor and dentist combined on an annual basis. The idea that I'm not in that same statistical category as those two bozos, because I'm servicing your hair and skin, you'll be damned to ever fix your face and not call me a doctor.
Booyah! Hey, man, we love it. We love it. Where were you born, man? This is how I got it. Where was you born?
I was born in hell. I was born in Brooklyn.
Hell's Kitchen.
Brooklyn, Hell's Kitchen.
I was born in hell, bro.
Raised?
In hell. On the corner where the lions and the sharks meet.
When did Heavy find hair, or hair found Heavy?
Man, I feel like I didn't choose the game chose me. Like, the allure wasn't there in the 80s unless you saw it in a hip-hop video and it had a hip-hop culture associated, not doctor. It wasn't until I started culturing myself with the barbers in Italy and the barbers in Spain and the barbers in France and the barbers in the Mediterranean, all over the Middle East, as I served 20 years and demonstrated a product I learned to put together in Brooklyn and showcased it to different sailors, Marines. I mean, if you think I'm popular here, you should have seen me on the battlefield, man. I was like Maximus. I was cutting their hair and singing them bedtime stories. We were laying everybody to sleep. I was pretty surgical. I was running hotliners at night, drinking. I didn't even want to sleep. I was afraid somebody was going to get me in my sleep, so that's why I don't sleep today. I suffer from extreme anxiety.
Whoa.
Extreme anxiety.
Whoa.
You know, I've been wounded in combat. You know, I've done some nasty shit in my life that I'm not proud of, and I feel like this is how I give it all back, right here with these young kids, or that OG who's too stubborn to try color because he feels like his natural haircut is it, but he doesn't understand to add more products to his menu, like a hot towel, straight razor, facial, black mass peel, enhancement, permanent, semi-permanent color correction, you know, whatever. SMP, scalp micropigmentation. Operators are getting $3,000 to $4,000 in a service. How long is a service? 3 hours. How many haircuts you would have to do to make that money? Or a guy like Platano Gucci, shout out to Level 3. They do, you know, they're running hair units around the country, people flying in on 5 bands. And the longest part of the unit is just letting the glue dry. Letting the glue dry. After that, we just fading from the crown. There ain't no difference. Your razor game around the unit and the glue drying is all the skill you need. You can't mess that up even if you tried, because he walked in bald.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't mess that up even if you tried. He walked in bald.
Hey, so I love this.
I love it.
So did Barbara find you before the military?
Absolutely. I met the recruiter in the chair. That's how it happened.
Wow.
I joined the military because I didn't realize, because he kept telling me, if you think black and brown people in the chair a lot, imagine 60,000 service members on base, and they all got to get cleaned fresh for an inspection that's on Monday in uniform. They got to get a haircut every week. I said, what branch is this? He said, Marine Corps. I said, man, that sounds fun. I'm going to shoot people who ain't cut hair? Man, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing, because all my niggas in the street, we were really hunting people like that. And what kept me from being a hunter in that particular time was those clippers. That kept my ass at home. Oh man, them $3 fades I was giving out, and it took an hour and a half to do with one light, sitting on the edge of the fucking toilet seat. That saved my life, because every last one of them that was outside banging, they either dead locked up or on parole right now. And the ones on parole, they still scarred. Wow. So, yo, when I go home to Bushwick next month, man, we putting together our first annual barber battle. It's the first one. It might be the last one. I'm not an organizer. I just found a reason to just bring it home and reconnect with barbers I grew up with and people that were... I still go home today and run into people that say, yo, what's up, Miguel? And I'm like, yo, you remember me? They're like, yeah, what barbershop you at now? I'm like, yo, I ain't cutting this neighborhood in 20 plus years, my dude. He's like, oh, wow. Went by so fast. I'm like, yeah, it did. Fuck out of here.
Hey, that's fire, man.
Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you, people on drugs are okay. They're okay. They suffering. You know, a lot of people think, you know, yo, I'll tell you, when I meet these barbers here, I hate to say it, they suffer from single mom syndrome. He looks like a man, but every thought in his mind, every reaction he's ever had, down to sucking his teeth, was only predicated off the fact that from the minute he could comprehend what was going on around him, he's only been subjected to a woman's point of view. So he almost doesn't even want to be a man anymore. He even decides to start dating men.
Damn.
Because everything he's ever heard about a man sucks anyway, coming from the woman he loves.
Damn.
And so, for the people out there that grow up in these single mother homes, I'ma just say it. You know what I'm saying? There's two sides to the story. Go find your father. Because I'ma tell you, this government took him. That was their plan. You remove the structure and all of it falls apart. And that's how they keep black and brown people apart. By removing the fathers and putting them in institutions. When slavery got abolished, okay, what's next? The next form of slavery is correctional facilities. 25% of the world's prisoners are housed in this country. And we're only 5% of the population of the world. What does that tell you? Correctional facilities are big business.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And they love keeping black and brown men in them. And we got to learn to stay out of them so that we can provide that structure from a male's perspective that's going to create even more stability as we chase our bloodlines to the top. And I'm going to tell you, you know, when I meet people, right, and I don't like to insult their intelligence, I'll tell them, hey, give me the starting 5 of the Chicago Bulls before you were born. They'll go Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, The crazy motherfucker who came from Detroit, Rodman, we'll figure it out. And who was the coach? Everybody know Phil. He'll give me 4 at least. And then I'll say, well, who's your father? Who's your grandfather? Who's your great-grandfather? Give me at least 4, all the way to the great-great-great-grandfather. You know, it's sad some of them can't get past father.
Wow.
So when you can recite an organizational team that has absolutely nothing to do with you financially, other than the fact that it's been used to trick you into believing that that's important, and so they pay them instead of educators. They focus the limelight on these chip and dip commercials instead of the true foundational ground workers in the inner city with these nonprofits and people just trying to put together the money to put a basketball hoop so these kids won't spin the block. This shit is deeper than barbering.
It always is.
And so barbering is that C-list celebrity in the neighborhood that has everybody's ear. The barbershop is the black man's country club. It gives us an opportunity to share ideas and build. Let's not use it on tasteless music and arguing LeBron versus Jordan. Y'all niggas don't even get a check for that. Can we update the conversation?
Hey.
Can we talk about these kids that need that thunderbolt so he can build the confidence to knock down that 3 on Friday night, or had a hand soft enough to catch that end zone pass, or sit his ass in class and whip that number 2 and don't be afraid to erase it and try again?
What took you from barbering to military?
Hey, let me ask that, because I didn't get a question. What took you from barbering to military? I mean, you don't understand. When Hev speaks, I just get so into it. Because you never know where he's going to go, but every time he opens his mouth, he says something that you can relate to.
I've been
and you can understand.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's fantastic to sit here and hear him break down numbers.
Yo, we all wear Jordans, but we all don't carry the same brain. That's what we have to realize. We might wear designer sunglasses and wear T-shirts celebrating brands, but we have to get down to the truest minds in this business. We gotta stop pretending that trickery over social media and buying 100,000 followers only to find 15 likes and 27 shares. You know, that's not working no more.
It's not working.
You know, you still living at home. Stop lying. You still living at home and you tricking them with a gold chain and a 98 Beamer. The headlights don't even connect.
How'd barbering take you to the military?
It took me because he didn't lie to me about one thing. He told me I could take my clippers on this journey. And when he told me I was gonna get the opportunity to kill people, I was like, all right. When he told me I'd never miss a meal, I was like, all right. But I done missed meals before. I was good with that. You telling me I'm never gonna miss a meal? I don't even have a passport. You telling me I'm going to these countries? How? I was all right with all of that. And when he threw the cherry on top, where he told me, he said, because again, barbering and the business of barbering are 2 conversations most barbers aren't ready for.
Sure.
And I understood barbering at a business level at a young age. Because while I was learning to cut hair in the front, I had a black barber tell me, yo, these are onions, ounces, birds, eighths, and quarters. And here's how they move. So these haircuts need to move just as fast. And if they don't move fast enough, you're gonna have to pitch this with me in the back. I said, nah, I'm gonna work on these haircuts, my dude. And he said, all right, get to it. It's about getting to the business of what we're trying to do here. And so I learned when the recruiter opened his mouth and told me I was gonna go on this journey and I would get away from my family, people that helped ruin me, people that try to destroy my confidence, people that told me over and over again, yo, you ain't gonna make it, bro. Put those clippers down. Who the fuck do you think you are? Yo, the fades is trash. You're not even the starting QB. That's what my family used to say.
This is family.
Fuck them niggas. Where you at now? Y'all niggas call me daily. Fuck out of my pockets. And a perfect stranger will walk in and have no problem paying full price. They ain't laughing no more because they ain't a nigga in my circle that's poor. That's real. You can't laugh. You can't laugh at a funny dude who walks in, but he pulled up in $100,000 something.
I love your vulnerability,
You understand?
man. They need this. They
Hey, yo,
need
and
that.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even care about the car. Come take it from me, because I don't even carry guns no more. I'm not willing to die over a car no more. I'm not willing to die over property I never owned. Y'all niggas want to die over property y'all don't even own, bro. Y'all spending blocks that don't even belong to you. I can see you spending on 2-3 acres, getting them hogs in, flipping that meat, turning it into 100 bands a month. I can see you flipping your property and hitting some deer, turning that venison into whatever, laying some eggs, turning that into whatever, because I don't eat processed eggs. If you could cage an egg and create anxiety with 10 chickens in a cage, imagine what that egg really has in it. I want my shit cage-free.
Dang.
I want my shit like I want my people, cage-free. Shout out to Jadakiss. I want my money long like Italian bread and a lot of dough in the middle.
Hey, do you think if you didn't have that opposition, you would go as hard as you do? Because sometimes that opposition is what builds that. Yeah. So I'm just asking you.
Oh, man.
I'm asking you specifically with what you just, my dude, with what you just breathed out on us. Well, what you just breathe out on us, I'm asking you.
Yeah, I give it all away just to have that love. Because when there's love, I could build this back up again even faster.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't have to go on this journey alone when you have like-minded individuals as a wolf pack running. You know, some animals got to learn to hunt together in the wild. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody sits like a lion. You might have to run with the hyenas, or you might have had to and didn't even realize it.
So you said go find your father.
Go find your father.
Some people might sound like...
Go find your
grandfather. Some people might think that sounded like a nice line.
Go find the other side of the story. Because I bet you your mama said that nigga ain't shit. That's all she been saying. But meanwhile, she dropped out of school and she wasn't shit herself.
Question. Do you feel like the barbering industry helped you find that unity, that family that you needed?
My first real spiritual brother.
That's why I'm asking
you this. My first real spiritual brother is a man by the name of Imhotep. He taught me a lot about myself. He taught me a lot about family. He taught me a lot about understanding and having values and really putting together the kind of plays that provide longevity. Because I feel like I'm running out of time in the hourglass. Like, look, I'll be honest with you, and I say this only to say this. This ain't about money no more. It's never been about money. And I'll tell you why. When I retired, the government felt the need to pay me 100% permanent total on top of a gunnery sergeant E7 pay. So trust me, before my ambition even walks out the door, I got enough money to take care of all my overhead and even send my kids to school and other governmental benefits that you wouldn't believe. I don't even pay property tax because of the ugly shit I've done for this country. According to my record, I don't need to be reevaluated every 5 years. They were good on the permanent total part. Because if I had to come back to talk about this again, it wouldn't invoke good energy.
What can other barbers, we went into a lot of barbers who did military time.
Man, fuck the military. I'll tell you where the real time is in prison.
But the ones that have done it though, what can you suggest for them as far as things like PTSD and those things that are sticking with them right now from that experience?
I'll tell you, if you look it up, and this is a proven fact, because of the adrenaline, because of the edge you live on, over 95% of the Fortune 500 companies in America are ex-Marines or ex-military in general. Because they're so cut from a cloth that suggests you have to be better than the 1%. And not financially, but hunt where nobody hunts, sleep where nobody sleeps, sacrifice sleep, family, and love for anything you've ever known before, because you're gonna see things that just they don't process well. Like this stuff creates damage to your soul. I feel like my soul's damaged.
I feel like you just shared with us.
Yeah, I feel like
some of that damage, and that's what made me ask you that. And I appreciate you doing that with us. It's not that we want to see you hurt and things like that, but no, whether you showed it or not, it's in there. And now you allowed us to understand more of Heavy. You know what I mean? And we appreciate that.
When you go through some of the emotional scars you carry in life, you don't get to pick this stuff. And barbers, specifically, look at the real numbers. How many of them have graduated? I mean, now we're in a big, big boom with the industry. But let's go before the pandemic, when everything was a cash business under the table, and you didn't need Booksy to remind you made $100,000 a year. And some of y'all didn't know that till it told you that. Y'all were like, wow, honey, 100,000. I told you I was 6 figure niggas. I told you, look, 3,732 clients.
Hey.
Who's doing that many? And she going, yeah, daddy. She's spending it. Spending 12 hours there, you better have some balance in your life. Anything you mismanage in life, you'll lose it. And I learned that the hard way. I lost everything. I lost everything to be here with y'all today. Everything. Wow. I lost friends. I lost relationships in my family. I lost family members. I lost myself. I lost my wife. I lost connection with my kids. I put my kids through medical school, and I put my kids through HVAC school, and just through life's travels and sacrifices that I did for my career, thinking it would make me a better man. Instead, it made me a worse father. It made me a worse husband. It made me a shadow in a household that I thought, because a man's first love is his work. When a man's work is good, you'll take your wife to any restaurant. We'll travel anywhere. Honey, anything you want. You know how we get down. When the money's good, who cares? Investment, savings, play money. Where are we going? When money's bad, man, that dude at the job, I told you, look, that's 2 clients he done took from me this week. I just was late because I was late. You know how that Uber stuff go on my app. I'm gonna have to call Uber, but this is the 2nd client he done snatched this week, and I taught him how to use that card. Now look at him, right? And instead of going out there and congratulating him, now there's hate being born. So he feel like he gotta go harder. So he sacrificing more time. Because when the barbershop rock and the energy's good, look around. Hey, how many points LeBron had? But let there be one client in the shop walking in who looks alone and unafraid, and 10 barbers are sitting in their chair and the music cuts on. And it's all 10 barbers like lunch meat. You get that one barber try to play it off like you know him. Hey, yeah, there you go. Hey, listen, your mama doing good. Get over here, get in jail. You put the next strip on and be like, listen, man, I got you, baby. What we doing, man? Tell me again what you doing.
Good to see you again. Good to see you again,
He like, man, I just moved to this city, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? They be like, all right, man, listen, man. And the barbers know already. They lit in the corner like, look at him, playing the door again, because he ain't got his stuff together.
So, I mean, let's talk about Hevie and his main product. The thing that he's just selling all across this country that I love your videos, especially when you do the cleaning, how that stuff just, bruh, Hev, I'm like,
this is, let's make no mistake about color, first and foremost. If you understand anything about color, you'll understand that it originated all the way back in Africa. The Egyptians would put it on to do 2 things. 1, separate themselves from the common man as they traveled through town so they were easily identifiable as royalty. And 2, look younger. And it did. It made their eyebrows. It's written in hieroglyphics in the pyramids. And so this is nothing new, and it's evolved all the way through Beijing Oriental Black 59 and all these other products, but nothing was truly ready to operate at a semi-permanent level, last long like a permanent, give you the natural look with no process time, a safe non-toxic chemical that's easily applied with a compressor or dye brush, give you the stencil, the brush, the towel, the instruction to clean, preventive mate, operate, execute, and then do it all under a warranty that's now been lifted from 1 year to lifetime. We've officially engraved every compressor we own, so we now have it in multiple colors. To the point where I have a factory in China messaging me, asking me, what is the technology on your engraving process? Because every other company buys compressors from them, and they'll just label whatever, and enough sweat and enough water, it'll come off. And I really wanted to put together the right product. 2 Jordans might look the same, one's a knockoff. So when you see my style gun or you see my style compressor, see if it's engraved. See if it has that 0.2 to 0.6 barrel, that 18 to 25 slow squeeze, you know, the saturation rate, the color and PSI, the stencil. Like, we really put the package together because everything I got from barbers suggested that there wasn't any consistency in this industry. You either had to buy the color here, the stencil there, and then somebody's trying to teach you their way of doing it, and it's not typically the right way. And so I wanted to bring a level of consistency and education that would provide a level of confidence to the operator to execute black, brown, semi-permanent, pop colors, anything. And we've done it. We've won on Jay Majors' stage. We're winning, which we just won at Tech Barber. Listen, the contestant that won at the Barber Plug event under Hevie brand, under my brand, the judges wouldn't even judge it. They allowed the crowd to pick the winner.
Oh, man.
And it was only because he wore one of these before he got on stage. And I like to think that the judges that were there that day, you know, I felt like they had a tough time judging it, but at the same time, I almost felt like they didn't want to give it to him too, because he was standing on my brand. And for whatever reason, I don't say that, you know, because like I told you, Barber Plug is my guy, but this was his first show, and first shows are about mistakes. Yeah, well, you know, if I fly you in, pay your hotel room, chip and dip you, and you work the room, getting Instagrams and followers and pictures and this and that, and I brought you here to judge, I'll be damned if you leave it to the crowd to do your damn job. Fuck out of here. You owe me money. Here's my lawyer's number. Hey, everything you were supposed to do, you didn't do. You owe me 5 bands. Out of here. You ain't coming back either. I don't know. That's how I would have carried it. But you see, it's about politics. So sometimes that won't happen. You see, I'm cut like that. I'd rather piss one person off to save 1,000. Because that's life. Everybody's gonna go. You're not gonna be his favorite barber. He's gonna wait at least a week before he sits in the next chair. They'll talk about you, I promise.
Speaking of this dope jacket I've been looking at in this brand,
this is a windbreaker.
And this windbreaker, and this brand that's all over it.
I got one for you.
Where did Hevie come from?
Hevie comes 2 ways. When it first originated, all of my friends were Hispanic, black, I had a mix. And the funniest ones were 2 brothers who migrated to my block from Dominican Republic. It was the first time I had met a Dominican kid. His name was Delico and Diego. They were brothers. And they were funny in their accent. Dominicans, the way they speak Spanish, I thought it was cool. And he would always say that. He would always say, mira, eso está heavy, and snap his fingers. Like, mira, eso está heavy. They say that. And heavy, and it just, and I started saying it. You ever hung out around somebody so much that they rub off on you?
We all do it.
Yeah, and that's a form of flattery.
Yes.
So keep doing it. Yes. I tell you, man, listen, I try to hug at least 3 times a day these days, because if you ever felt the energy that comes off a hug, that's what keeps you living longer, not a fat bank account. The fat bank account, just, it's your job to manage it, to then pass it. Who's your son?
I got a son named Keenan and Darrell.
Who's your son?
Lonnie and Taurus.
And shout out to my son, Miguel Perez. Hey, he just made me a grandfather last night.
Hey.
And so that's what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a granddaddy. And so fuck this money. Because at the end of the day, as long as there's ramen noodles and some shredded cheese in the refrigerator and a bottle of hot sauce and a can of tuna, we gonna get through this. And if that's the bottom, I can't wait for the top. Because all my niggas are coming with me. That's it. That's it. Yo,
That's what we've been waiting on. We've been waiting on this, man.
I want to come to your show. And listen, this is my plan. This is how I work. If I show up, I got to get at least 20, 25 minutes education time. And that's free to you. Everybody else in this industry will put a price on their product. I have a tangible product. So for me, there's no pressure. Instead, I want to build. And in building, I'm going to build that education room the same way I built to 500 screaming barbers at an Ovation that really humbled me even further at last week's event. And I'm still feeling the effects this week that kept me driving through 3 blizzards on the way here from Virginia. by myself, 20 hours.
How about
bang,
that?
bang, bang.
How about that part? That right now the country is full of 80% full of snow, and you on the road still making it to events like this.
I drove to Texas and drove here with a pit stop in Virginia.
Damn.
I put over 60 hours on the road in the last 8 days.
Damn.
I watch 18-wheelers spin out on the road, and my ass tighter than a decimal point. I'm like this. I'm holding on to the wheel. I'm like, Lord, take the wheel. Just take the wheel. Let me hit the blunt. You take the wheel. Listen, I turned that driver assist feature on. Shout out to Ford Expedition. Listen, don't get it twisted. If it wasn't because of the business, it was a clean S550. Trust me.
Hey.
But the business needs space. Ford Expedition, third row fold down. I can throw another 20 compressors in the back. Crazy, man.
Hey, man, y'all, we want to thank Heavy for joining us today, man.
I can't wait for y'all to be syndicated. I'm going to say,
I was
with them when we didn't even have a bar yet. Like, there was nothing to pick from. This wasn't like Drink Champs yet. Now they got cigars and motherfucking brandy.
Hey, I want him to close us out, but you said one word that we love. You said, with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
With them.
We do this together, man. Yo, if you a shop owner, it's not about you. It's about the team.
Yes.
When you put the team first and you put people first, people will take care of you.
Yep.
You know, people will learn to love the environment you create. And so create that environment at home, create that environment in your shops, create that environment at the bus stop or at the 7-Eleven and the places you frequent, because it just takes that smile, and that's free. When you see them walking in the door, smile. That's money walking in.
Yeah. That's another mic drop, y'all. That is Heavy. Miguel from Heavy Brand, bro. He's got the windbreakers. He's got the whole hair enhancement kit. He's out here and he's a beast, man. He's a hell of a salesman, a hell of a good guy.
Full of game.
Check us out, shop.hevie.com. We specialize in all of it. You can buy it all a la carte, or you could do yourself a favor and level up with the best lifetime. You'll never buy another gun again. If you own a pistol, you'll never buy another one again. You just learn to clean it and put more bullets through it. That's our model.
And he stands by his product.
And he said we get a windbreaker.
Come get your sizes when y'all ready.
Hey, we'll do a whole
I got them in green, red, all of it. Yes, sir.
We're going to be wearing it on our lives for sure.
Yes, sir. You got to see the leather Averexes I dropped. They fire. Oh, man. We going crazy. We going in.
Guys, make sure you go download Barberview TV today. You can watch this whole interview and listen to everything that Heavy was talking about.
This is going to go nuts. Listen, I'm going to tell you a fun fact. I do interviews and I never watch them because I get embarrassed by it. I know I'm yelling. I know I'm sweating. I know I'm belligerent. I know I'm everything that you can't stand. But I'm telling you, we family.
Well, we love it.
We love every bit of it.
Heavy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my brother.
United Barbers Club, Barberview TV.
We here, man.
We out.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man.
Oh, Heavy. We've been waiting for that, man. We've been waiting.
I loved every bit of it.
Every bit.
I'm long-winded.